Hi everybody, it's Jake Johnson here from Jake Showcase. Today what I'm going to do here is I'm going to help break down the definitions of alcoholism and problems that I have seen and experienced in my trials and tribulations with alcohol abuse. Please disregard my karma video. I am going to reshoot this video because I've got a new light and a new background, and I didn't understand how the colors worked, and it came off very poorly. And I just thought that this is too important of an issue to not shoot it as cleanly as I can at this time. So basically, what I have here is the definition from the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual number 4, written by the American Psychiatric Association in 1994, and how they define alcoholism or alcohol dependence is basically the more constructed way. Alcoholism is basically alcohol dependence, and alcohol dependence is defined here, as opposed to alcohol abuse, which is also defined here, but we're going to talk about alcohol dependence because that is the core of what is said to be alcoholism. And the thing I find very frustrating is that throughout my years of looking into this, I have in the medical lab areas, in the rehabs, and just my own research trying to define this, is that it's very wishy-washy. And for somebody who is a thinker or an intellect, like I consider myself to be, I basically stumbled and bumbled through this definition, and the fact that the psychiatric and the medical community has this as the thing that they're learning from, the smartest people in psychiatry are learning from this definition. That of course it's hard for the average person because it's hard for the psychiatrist. So let's just we're going to go through here, read, and I'm going to go point by point, sort of the countermeasures that a person who is intellect would think to try to get them to continue to stay drinking, and the rationale behind such a thing. So the diagnostic and statistical criteria for alcohol dependence is as follows: a maladaptive practice of alcohol use leading to clinically significant impairment or distress, as manifested by 3 or more of the following 7 criteria, occurring at any time in the same 12-month period. So 3 of these things have to happen out of the 7 in order for you to be diagnosed with alcohol dependence, i.e. alcoholism. Number 1, tolerance as defined by either of the following. A need for a markedly increase in the amounts of alcohol to achieve intoxication or desired effect. Or B, markedly diminished effect with continued use of the same amount of alcohol. Now for A, if you're a real drinker, a need for a markedly increased amount of alcohol to achieve the intoxication or desired effect, basically you're drinking all the time, right? So you're drinking in the day, you're drinking in the night, you don't really care about it. Is there a market increase? No. You drink, you get hammered, and that's how it is until you pass out, right? Or until you run out of alcohol. There's not really like an increase. This is what happens each time. This is what happens every time. And so, a measurable mark increase is very difficult to do for somebody who is a hardcore drinker. Likewise, markedly diminished effect with continued use of the same amount of alcohol. No, there's no diminished effect because you're always drinking about the same, which is max out, right? For me, I would drink a little bit less than a case a day, but about a case a day, and each and every day, you're drinking a 2-4 or something to that effect. So you're pretty hammered as time goes by. Number 2, withdrawal as defined by either of the following. The characteristic withdrawal symptoms of alcohol, refer to the DSM-4 for further details, or B, alcohol is taken to relieve or avoid alcohol symptoms. So basically, again, when you're a really hardcore drinker, you don't really have withdrawals, you don't have hangovers, it just becomes a way of life. The shakes and the shivers and the not being able to eat and the the barfing and nausea, all that, it's just, normal, right? So now for a sober person, that doesn't sound too normal. But, when you're a big drinker, this just becomes part of your life. So to identify it as a withdrawal symptom, it's very difficult. And as far as taking alcohol to relieve or avoid withdrawal symptoms, not really. You just want to drink because you like to drink, like you're not thinking like, okay, if I don't drink, I'm going to have withdrawal. I mean, your rationale isn't like that. It's like, I want to drink more because I like drinking. So, I again, that's for number 2. Number 3 is alcohol is taken in larger amounts over a longer period of time than was intended. And for anybody who likes drinking, this is never much of a problem, because you want to drink, and you're planning on getting smashed and hammered, and so you're not taking it any longer than you intended, because you intended to keep drinking and drinking, right? The only thing that kind of shortens that is, again, resources. If you don't have enough beer, or if you don't have enough whiskey or wine or whatever it is that you have, or finances, if you can't afford it. It rarely is a case of you not wanting to drink longer periods of time. So again, that can be a real challenge to identify yourself as doing that. Number 4, there is a persistent desire or unsuccessful efforts to cut down or control alcohol use. Now, you might say that, but a lot of this is social priming. If it's your loved one, or if it's your parents, or if it's your worker, work, or if it has something to do with the courts or something like that. Like, you might say that you want to cut down or you want to cut back, but the real drinker doesn't want to cut back. The real drinker wants to keep drinking, they want to drink more, and they want to drink as much as they possibly can, as often as they possibly can. So, while it may sound like that they're trying to cut down, they're not really. We're not really. People aren't really trying to cut down on alcohol use, because it's it's something we like to do. Number 5, a great deal of time is spent in activities necessary to obtain alcohol, use alcohol, or recover from its effects. Well, when you're a drinker, like a real hardcore drinker, you're spending all your time, drinking. So it's not like you're there's anything else really to do. It's possibly watch TV, or but basically I was able to have my alcohol brought to me, so I didn't have to go. But even when I had to go to the beer store, it takes time to go down there and pick it up, or the liquor store, go down and pick it up and bring it back. And if you have empties and stuff like that, to go and back. But that's basically your only activity of the day besides drinking, right? So that it doesn't take up more time than you wanted it to, because you're a professional drinker, right? And that's what you do. That's your profession, right? You just drink and drink. So it does take up a lot of time. It's true to do it in one regard, but in another regard, it's the only thing you really want to do. So there's nothing really, unusual about that. Number 6 is important social, occupational, or recreational activities are given up or reduced because of alcohol use. Now, in one way, it's true. I've lost jobs. I've just stopped working because I wanted to drink, or I've lost, not gone to different social functions because I prefer to drink. But really, you want to drink, right? And when the rubber hits the road, what it is that you want to drink more than you want to do any of these other things. If it's to go to a doctor's appointment, or if it's to go to a party, or if it's to go to something else, or work, right? You really don't want to do any of those things. What you want to do is you want to sit back and enjoy your drinking, right? And so, it's true that, maybe in, greater society, they think, oh, those are important functions, but they're not to a drinker, right? To a drinker, the most important thing is, drinking. So that's what you want to do. So, it's sort of a matter of perspective of what you consider is important. Number 7, important use or alcohol use is continued despite knowledge of having persistent or recurrent physical or psychological problems that is likely to be caused or exacerbated by the alcohol. E.g., continue drinking despite recognition of an ulcer made worse by alcohol consumption. Now again, this is just something that is, you expect, right? Because, like, you're going to have the shakes, and you're going to have, the what's called the DTs, or delirium tremors, or you understand all that. You just want to keep drinking anyway. And so, you might have these things. You hope that they don't happen. You hope that they minimize them. But the truth is that, you're prepared for that, and the alcohol is better than all of that, right? So it's worth it, right? So, it's all a matter, again, of perspective. If, you're having these problems, but, the greater thing is that, is the alcohol. And you sort of minimize the problems too, because it becomes a way of life. You're not having hangovers, and maybe other things are happening physically to you, but you're just so used to it that it doesn't seem like it's anything real out of the ordinary, right? Like waking up and throwing up. It's nothing out of the ordinary. So you're not really identifying that as a possible withdrawal symptom. You might think it's something else. So basically, you have to fit 3 of these 7 criteria within a 12-month period in order to be diagnosed as alcohol dependent. But in thinking about it, what you can do is you can sort of, say, okay, yeah, maybe all 7 of them apply to me, or maybe 1 and 3, or 2 and 5, and as time goes by, you can sort of like look at these things and think, was I in withdrawal, or was I just, having a bad, a headache? Or, did I really try to cut down my alcohol use, or really did I not really try? I just said I was going to try. And you can sort of bob and weave throughout the different, the tolerance. Am I having a marked increase? No, that's pretty much the same. So the way it's defined right now, it's pretty bad. It's pretty off. And no wonder it makes it difficult for people to understand, because this is what the smartest people in psychiatry and education and medicine have come up with as a definition for for them to teach their own kind, and for those people to go then and try to give a proper diagnosis of the individual. How is a normal individual going to be able to identify that accurately, especially if they want to keep drinking, right? So the smart person can find a way through this definition clearly to continue to drink, and that's why this definition needs to change. What rather needs to be focused on is identifying what the person actually wants inside of them. What do they want to be? How do they want to get, how can they get there? How can they get to this other thing? In a previous video, I used the example of being in a sandbox, or playing on a basketball court, or maybe playing house. Things that you like to do when you were a kid, right? Because when you were a kid, you were happy, you were sober, right? And, in general, life was pretty good. So basically, you can go back to that area, right? You can go back to it, but you have to want that thing, right? No rehab, or no group, or no counselor, or, I don't attend any of those things, right? For me, it's been something inside that I've had to change, and I just made a decision that I wasn't going to drink anymore, and I have, been doing that for about 2.5 years now. So, again, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual number 5 is about to come out, and their definition is going to be very similar to this, and it's going to continue to be a difficult thing for the intellectual community to wrap their head around, particularly if they want to keep drinking. So it's about what you want, and that's the key to having people quit drinking. All right, I hope that that's helpful for you. Please like my video below here, and please subscribe to my channel up above here. I'll be doing my videos on Wednesdays. All right, I hope that that's helpful for one person, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching Jake Showcase.